Yeah, we are live. Okay, good evening. We're only 1 minute late tonight, which is great news for us. Welcome to Paranormal Monday Live. If you haven't been here before, this is the casual 1.5 hour to 3 hour paranormal show. Anything paranormal, including we've got Luke going in now, including cryptids, Bigfoot, big cats, phenomena around the UK, UFOs, UAPs, spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, and anything else, and even dragons now, which we will talk about in a little bit. Here we go. Bleep, bleep, bleep. If you have joined us before, thanks for joining us again. Oh, Prospecting USA, superb. Thanks so much for joining us again, mate. That's really good. It's great to see people coming back. We can't be too bad then. I have myself, obviously, SCG, Luke, Paul up the top, host for Ghost. We've been hosting this together now for the last 13 months almost. Julia from under the name of Simon, of course, for Paranation. And
Darren, you're giving the game away. It's Simon.
There's a reason behind it.
It is 2024, guys. So we have the right to call ourselves whatever name we wish. Bill's on as well. Bill, great to have you, buddy.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Bill. Welcome.
And then we have the learner in the top right corner.
With the L plate.
Yeah, Daniel on the top there. He's got some exciting news for you as well, guys. So, and Mark's on. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Mark. Good evening. Welcome.
Great to see you. I think we're going to see you, Mark, on Saturday down in Wookey. Is that right, Julia? Mark Sutton, isn't he?
I'm not sure it's Wookiee. I think he was coming.
No, Mark, we'll see you again, mate.
No, it's such a shame.
Mark,
you're welcome to come, Mark, if you can make it.
It'd be great to see you, mate, if you could get down there. Mark and myself have been with so many people, always sort of on and off together and whatever, known him for many years. And when he came down to the Silk Mill, it was just so excellent to see him again, because we're kind of like the real people that know each other, and do you know what I mean? It's strange. And I mean, the Bugle was last time, and I went over, we had breakfast and whatever. It's superb. No, thanks for joining us. We've got 8 viewers at the moment. Superb. We've got a couple of things to cover tonight. One is still doesn't sink into me what we actually caught on the 27th of last month. We'll be talking about that in a second. And the second one is I've got some footage that I've got been given of all I can conclude are UFOs or whatever, not dissimilar to what we saw again on the 27th, but a different formation. In actual fact, if I can bring these up, video file, and
Paul, did you am I right in thinking you did a course on dragons?
Yes. Yeah. I sent I can't remember what it's called actually. Hang on, I'll get a certificate. I'm so useless with remembering things now. It's because of my age, see. You're all right because you're young.
Evening, Gemma. Gemma's on.
Evening, Gemma.
Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
We'll be seeing Gemma on Saturday.
Yeah.
So nice little meal book. Gemma's paying apparently, isn't she? Yeah. Thanks, Gemma.
I don't know whether you can see that.
Nice of you. Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
That's the course I did.
I'll come on to that in a second, mate. This is really it hasn't sunk into me, Prospecting USA. It really hasn't. I don't know about the rest of the team, but we were night before last on a meeting, all giving our accounts, if you like, explaining with Richard Freeman, and there was Luke, Julia, myself, Luke Gosling, and the more we spoke about it, the more it's sort of like you couldn't disprove it from being a different event. But we'll come on to that in a second. First, and a Kalishi, yeah? I'm going to show you this video that was given to me. If I can, I've not done this on StreamYard before, but here it is. Now I don't know if you can see these lights in the sky.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's weird.
Now what gets me is they're not all equally spaced. And if you look down the bottom of the picture, going from a quarter in from the left at the bottom, right round to the right in a circular motion, there's also more lights. Play it onwards. Now these were moving at the time. Notice they're not pulsating. They're all the same colour, yeah? And they're not metallic-y sort of flickering. Satellites, if you look up at the sky, you'll see they're pulsating, they're flickering. And that's him zooming in a little bit more. Now, if I come back again, this is interesting because this is in Portsmouth. He was walking back about 10:30 at night, and he was crossing the road, and something drew his attention upwards. He wanted to look upwards. Now, one thing, I've watched this over and over again, and one thing I've noticed is, see at the bottom of the picture, you've got a tree and the bay window of the house. You've actually got another one of the objects there. You see it?
Yeah, between the tree and the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've actually got one there, and as you continue, you can actually see there's a few. See there you go. Oh, I missed it. There's one now. You can see it. See the one in the center of about a third from the bottom up, right in the center.
Yeah.
That's another one. And then there's another one, and then up towards a third down from the top on the left hand side of the picture, there was just another one. If I come back, there you go. Boom, flash, yeah. Now these were moving. I said to him, were they moving? He says, yeah, they were moving. But not in a straight line as they're placed. Now, they're the same colour to me, yeah. They're the same colour to me as what we saw over at Waverley when we were moving from building to building. But ours were actually in and I hate to say this, in a fork shape. Do you remember? Now, the guy that sent me in, you've met him. It's Terry, my mate, a mechanic mate. And he believes in spirits, but he's not that interested because he's got other things to do. He's a mechanic, yeah. And I went in last week, and he came up to me and he went, "What do you think of this?" straight away on his phone. I went, "Well, it's unbelievable." I said, "What happened?" And he explained he was walking home at night. He's crossing the road, and instead of look down the road, something made him look up. And as he did, he saw them. He saw a few flashing round and whatever. And he said they were moving off, drifting. He says they were quite high up, obviously. But they were all in formation, perfect formation. And he says, "Do you think I've caught UFOs?" Well, they're not sodding aeroplanes, are they? They're not Chinese sodding lanterns, are they? You know?
Last week we briefly touched on this subject, didn't we, Daniel?
And something that's really weird, Paul, is, do you remember after that live, I sent you a message saying
Harry's on. Evening, Harry.
someone sent me an email with a UFO report. Now I'm
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm still trying to send the video to you.
Yeah,
It looks similar to that, but just one kind of ball that's just kind of
Yeah.
zapping around. But that was weird that we were having a conversation about it with actually Bill Rigby, and then I get an email after the UFO report.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I would imagine Bill can sort of elaborate a little bit on that video after he's analysed it a little bit. But
so we touched briefly on that type of stuff last week. Also, you've got to remember how many billions of tons of debris are up in space, the Jettison rockets, all sorts of parts of spaceships that are floating around in the atmosphere. So some of the stuff you could put it down to debris in the atmosphere. You remember they jettison off all that sort of space junk, don't they? There's dead satellites floating up there. There's rockets and boosters and canopies and ship bits and often you can mistake that type of debris in the atmosphere, whether it's working its way down through the atmosphere and it bounces along the atmosphere and creates that, or there's another reason. But we was talking to Bill last week, and he said what people seem to forget is how much debris is actually floating around our planet from the space exploration.
There is.
Trillions of tons of debris that bounce off the atmosphere and go back out and bounce and go back out. And he was saying a lot of the UFO sightings can be. Hi, Harry.
Harry was there from basically the start of SCG in 2007. So, Harry and Paula Davis.
Hi, Paula.
Thanks for
joining us. Hi, Paula. Welcome.
Much appreciated you joining us. Really is appreciated. If you are on YouTube or on Facebook, give us a like. We've got 2 thumbs up there. If you give us a like, please. Every like helps, and it really does mean a lot to us.
We had a great time with Paula and family and friends at Knoll Cemetery on Saturday afternoon. So that was another successful little investigation we did, little mini one.
Yeah. I was actually quite amazed, Paula, when you came on Monday, how you went straight into it on the on the table, and you were sort of there all night, and I thought wonderful to see. And then on Saturday, it was Saturday, wasn't it, or Sunday?
Saturday.
I've just.
I know. I don't know what day it
is. I really have. No, I just feel really ill. I've just had a few funny turns the last couple of days. I don't know. But I'll discuss it afterwards or whatever. I've just been. I'm in a lot of pain at the minute, actually, on my top shoulders. It's weird. But when we come off the live, I'll explain, because people don't want to hear my ailments and so forth.
And we've also got an invite to go on to Michaela Ford's Paranormal or what? She does loads and loads of podcasts, and she's invited us onto her podcast to talk about ghostly goings on and things that we've experienced. So
superb.
That's a first for us, and really looking forward to chatting with Michaela again.
Yeah. So she's got her own group and podcast, does she?
She has Paranormal or what? It's on Facebook.
Okay.
And she's got lots of podcasts on there. That's what she focuses on. She's been on some of our ghost hunts. I don't know, they all seem to become a blur after a while, but she has been on some of our ghost hunts with us. I think Manor Farm may have been the last one, if I remember rightly, but yes.
That's such a shame.
Lovely lady.
Manor Farm is such a shame.
I know. It happens now and then you get another good venue that comes along. So hopefully we'll have another good one to replace Manor Farm. But as you say, it is such a shame because it's a magnificent venue.
Well, I mean, Manor Farm, it was sort of central, really, and a big venue, outside, inside. I don't know if you ever went there, Paul. Did you?
Yeah.
What a venue! What a venue!
Yeah, it was impressive. Impressive place.
Cottages, things like that, libraries,
Church.
storerooms,
Church.
and
Julie. Yeah.
I did. He sent me some pictures and videos of some UFO reports.
Brilliant. If you can board them or whatever, mate, because like I love
send them to you in a minute.
That. Yeah. There's a guy in the States, Mr. MRCBX or something, and a couple of years ago, I was out the front of our house where I am now. Well, she came back from walking the dog, and Angela, sorry, I'm getting her.
She who has no name. Yeah, it was very good. You got out of that one.
Yeah,
my insignificant other.
But she's right behind you. She's right behind you. Made you look.
Anyway, she went, there's a strange light out there in the sky. So I went out there, and it was that direction. There's a video on YouTube on it, and I'm looking at it, and it seemed to be moving. It seemed to be moving. Anyway, I thought what I would do. Yes, absolutely superb. Thanks for coming along. Much appreciated.
Welcome
really,
along.
Thank you so much for coming on. Anyway, I went and got my expensive camera, put it on a tripod, stuck it on the driveway, zoomed into this object, but left some space around it. Yeah, and just hit record and left the camera, and I was watching it on the screen, and this thing was going to the right, and then it came back to the left, then it went away, and it came back, and it and it was in and out, and it's all over the place. And Angela said to me, well, yeah, it's a star, it could be moving. I said, yeah, but the star will move to the right hand side with the rest of the universe, yeah, not night sky, until it vanishes, and then it won't come back again, and then shoot sort of like in and out, and 1 minute it was tiny, next minute it was huge and whatever, and it was pulsating inside, and I captured it all on video, and it's on YouTube on South Coast Ghost channel, and I put it on there, and immediately this Mr. MRCW or whatever he is, a few of you on the chat will probably know who I'm on about. Justin actually recommended I watched his show, and he asked if he could use the footage on his show, and he did use it on his show because he analysed it, and he said, no, he says you've caught something there. I don't know what it is, but it's not man-made. It's not a star. It is an unknown entity. As to what it is, it can only be a UFO. But V's on the bottom. Oh my god! Sorry, V.
Hi, V. Evening.
I didn't even see you there, mate. I didn't even see you. I'm that busy waffling on. But no, he Brian King Sharp, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hi, welcome, Brian.
Welcome aboard on our little podcast, and a bit of humour thrown in. Well, I like to think it's humour, but most people don't laugh. Only when I'm walking or talking normally. Glad to have you, buddy. Honestly, seriously glad you're here. As we keep saying, everybody that comes and watches us, everybody that joins us, comments. I mean, we've got 3 likes and loves up the top now, and that's just special to us. Thank you so much, guys. But no, he picked up on this. I'll try and pull the video up next week, and it's a really interesting bit of video. It's that's Daniel. He's eating his dinner at the moment, so am I making comments correctly? I don't seem to be appearing on screen. Yeah, Mark, when I see you, mate. Yes. The last one I got was no. And the next one I've got is this one, bud. And now cool. So yeah, you are. So but I'll try and pull up next week. It was really interesting. He analysed, he'd have all the seismographs and everything over in America, and he could not deface my footage. Well, no wonder, it was real footage. It raw footage, and it was just thrown up straight on. And another one I got, I went over to Fareham, and this is on YouTube as well, to collect a electric pump from the tyre pump. And I've got a front camera and a back camera on the pan. And I had it on. I had some idiot try and run me off the road, strangely enough. Anyway, on the way back, I've come off the 27 onto the Eastern Road roundabout. And as I've pulled out from underneath the underpass, you can see this metallic object on the right-hand side. And it kind of follows me up over the water and whatever. You see it quite a few times. And it's a really interesting one. I've tried to recreate it, and I've tried to look at other videos on the bike and things like that, and it won't really do it. It's only on this one video until a few weeks later, when it was in a different area, a different location, a different treachery, the lot, right? And you could see it over to the left-hand side, as if it was watching me, which I found quite strange. And it is a silver metallic object. Angela's looked at it. I'll download it.
How big do you reckon it is?
Very hard to say, Julia, because it's so far away, whatever it is, and big, quite big. I mean, bigger than an aeroplane. Yeah, like fatter than an aeroplane, and just silver. But you can see it, but it appears and reappears and vanishes and whatever. And it's almost quite scary. Evening, William. Good to have you, mate.
Hi, mate. Welcome.
It's a very, very, very interesting, mate.
But was it stationary when you saw it?
No, I was riding.
Yeah, but was the unit stationary, or was it sort of moving along at sort of roughly the same speed as you, or what?
No, Paul. Hard to tell, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. Let me have a quick butchers here. I don't know if I can do this. Where am I? I've got your channel. Yep. Videos. Because this is last year. I'm sure it was last year. And this is oh yeah, here it is 1 year ago. Download it.
You think it's more active there because of the dockyards, the bases and all of that?
Near the sea?
Mm.
Quite open?
Yeah, well, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Because I mean, Justin sits up at his house up the road, and no, I can't download. I'll have to get it for next week. I'll text him when the helicopters come down Langston Harbour. And you know that program Airwolf years ago with the black helicopter?
I'm too young to remember that, mate.
Looks like they've been using your head to take off on, mate. And
what the H, I mean.
And within 24 hours, you're guaranteed lights in the sky. Guaranteed lights in the sky. And it's just absolutely amazing because you can predict the habits of these things just by saying, well, I'll text him, go, oh, the helicopters are coming back. They'll go, hang about, let me go outside. And he'll go, oh, yeah, I can see them. Yeah, I can hear them. Last week, we had a Chinook really, really low to the ground. really low to the ground twice. That was last week. And, I've also got a theory on these things. You're not going to admit all the weaponry you've got, especially in today's day and age with everything that's going on around the world. You want to keep one step ahead of your competitors. And I mean, if you're that well into it, which obviously they are, with the MOD and so forth, you're not even going to expose your latest weaponry, apart from your top tech people. You're not going to expose it to the Navy, the Army, until you may need to call upon it or it's tested. But then again, you do have to test your weaponry. You have to test your craft or whatever it is, your airplanes, your aircraft. So what's the best way of testing it? Well, simple. Put it up against your already best. If you've got a naval warship, which is Type 2 destroyer or something, is perfectly invisible, well, let's put this up against this new UFO that we've developed or something like that, and see how our warships fare against it, if it can just dodge them and so forth. Because you never hear of a UFO attacking a British naval warship, do you?
Or an American one.
Sorry, Vay?
Or an American one.
Or an American one, yeah. So
but how do you know they don't come out of the water? They're underwater UFOs.
They do.
So how do you know that they suddenly appear out, like Julie was saying, in the sea? How do you suddenly know that they suddenly appear in the sky? How do you know that they've just not come out of the water? Because there is, they do say that there is unsubmersible UFOs. How do we know that we see them suddenly appear in the sky? You wouldn't see them coming out from the water because the horizon and the water are so dark. You would never see something appear until it's up in the sky, would you?
And 10 miles down the horizon, it converges anyway, doesn't it?
Exactly. So you wouldn't see the difference between the sea level and the horizon, but these things could suddenly appear out of the sea. But we wouldn't see them until they were up at a certain height, where I could differentiate between the dark and light.
Hey, apparently the largest UFO base on the planet, on Earth, is Antarctica. This is what I've been told. And a few reasons, one being it's impenetrable. You can't reach it, You can't just simply hire a jet ski and say, right, I'm going to go off and have a look around the Antarctic, or a rowing boat.
But it was that film. Do you remember the X-Files?
Yes.
Do you remember the X-Files?
Yes, yeah.
What did they stumble on right at the end? The spaceship in Antarctica.
Yeah. Well, I think these programs signal, subliminally what's coming next.
Yeah.
It's a bit like if you want to know what tech's going to be on your car in 10 years' time as standard, just go and have a look at the top of the range Mercedes today, and next 10 years that's what it's gonna have on it, And it's a bit like if you want to know what's going to come out in the next 10, 20 years, just watch something like the X-Files.
The thing is, when they're building cars 4 or 5 years ahead.
Oh yeah.
We see this technology all the time changing, and it's technology.
The Mercedes of 10 years ago, it had massaging, cooling seats, aircon seats, soft touch closed doors, open boots, things like that, and a load of hidden stuff as standard on the S-Class.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're getting this now on, So they're building cars 4 or 5 years ahead, obviously. Yeah.
But we've had autonomous cars for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
There's only one switch that stops it working. And the insurance company want to know who was driving at the time of the accident. That's all that's stopping it.
Yeah.
That's all that stops us switching that on to become autonomous driving. It'd be like Julia's Range Rover. It'll be there ready to go. Whether you trust it or not is another matter. But I have been in an autonomous car at Peugeot. And it is the weirdest thing. you want to grab hold of the steering wheel because it's doing everything for you. It's unnatural.
Plus the fact, Paul, that's a bit dangerous, mate, because the French have always had it in for us.
Yeah. Well, at least it comes this way towards us. Can't get lost in France, can you? Because it just turns around and comes back to England. It's like a boomerang. No matter how far you throw it down into Europe, it drives its way back to us.
Prospecting USA, Hunting America's Treasures. What have you all seen? Well, that's a really interesting one because, I mean, I know I'm a bit crackers anyway. I mean, most of us are, but up until the night before yesterday, I really thought we were going crackers because we did one of our regular haunts on the 27th of December, and it turned out to be a good night. I mean, I go out cryptids, I go out UFOs, as you can tell. Paul does. We all do. We're all interested in Bigfoot, big cats, whatever. Yeah, it's the paranormal. But this particular night, as was pointed out to us, we weren't looking for any of those things. We were looking for spirits and ghosts. And we went over to one of our normal haunts, which is always active. And what was it, 7 o'clock we got there? Something like that?
7, something like that, wasn't it? It wasn't particularly late.
And you've got... No, it's been very wet, hasn't it? Very wet.
We were debating whether to go or not because it... And then we said, it's going to stop raining at 5, it's going to stop raining at 5. And it did. It was very wet and muddy.
Julia had these white shoes on.
Julia.
I had my other
white pair of trainers.
My black one. I had my black ones, Darren. You know the black trendy ones. I had those on, and I didn't want to get muddy, so I had to put anyway. It was the black ones.
It's the bag lady.
Yeah, but it works. It works, mate. Don't knock it till you've tried it. Yeah. Don't knock it till you've tried it. That's what I say.
Well, I said to her, I said, I wouldn't walk down in there if I was you. I said, you're going to get covered in mud. Oh, will I? I went, yeah. I said, I'll just take them off. I went, either that or just put carrier bags over them. Now, I must admit, they were matching carrier bags.
Oh, well, that's all right then, isn't it?
They were.
And they were Sainsbury's as well, so it was quite trendy. It wasn't like one of the low supermarkets.
Yeah, and it said Sainsbury's on them. Anyway.
Sure it didn't say Salisbury.
Anyway, we're walking down the path from the car park, which goes beside a pond. And where we're going is over here. It's an old abbey, semi-derelict abbey. And we superb, mate. Thank you. If he forwards it to us or puts it up or whatever, that's superb. Thanks, mate. This is what we want people to do. If you can, please send us in your pictures, send us in your videos. We'd love to share with you. We'd love you to share with us. Thank you so much. That's superb.
Just tell us a bit of the history, the background of it. That's all we asked, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you want to come on and speak for us and whatever, and tell us your side.
Yeah.
Everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. I will get. No, we haven't. No. If you could send that, that wicked. This is what we're after. We believe in power unity, spread the power love, and join forces with real people around this globe and bring real evidence and share real evidence. That's what we're all about.
We like to hear people's story and the reasons behind and all that type of stuff. Come on and tell us your story and talk to us.
I'll have a look on Mark's pictures and see if I can find them. That'd be superb. But yeah, if you can send them, that's spot on. But no, we're walking up and we saw these lights on the left-hand side, and we're like, "What are they?" And they were stationary, weren't they? They weren't moving.
And it wasn't. It was a really windy evening, wasn't it? Very, very windy.
Yeah,
Was it above the tree line, or where? How high up was it?
Oh yes.
What, well above the tree line, or?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was 15 degrees up vision, 15, 20 degree up vision. Yeah. And again, John's here. Evening, John. Good to have you,
Hi,
mate.
John.
Hooray!
I'll be in a minute. I'm just about to have something to eat, so I'll be back in a moment. Carry
Okay,
on.
mate.
No
No worries.
You know that. Strangely enough, thinking of this, those lights went up pretty much the same angle as that video I've just brought out in the beginning. But obviously there was a bit more cloud to them because of the wind. Anyway, one of the groups said, "Oh no, it's an aeroplane because they're flashing, or one's flashing." And I said, "What? A UFO's not allowed to have a flashing light now? Yeah, it's banned in the solar system. Yeah." Anyway, we carried walking on. They just went whoosh, gone, and I saw them go. And anyway, we walked through the gates and across the cow field and into our first room. Normally we sit there for 30, 40 minutes, don't we, Paul?
Yeah.
Julia, we're just tuning in. Yeah. Luke will tell you. I just sit down.
You have to excuse Luke. I think he's lost his voice.
Yeah.
He gets a very croaky voice, Luke does. Sorry, Julia. Carry on.
No, I was just saying, we just sit there, don't we? We have a bit of a catch up, bit of a chin wag. And I always say, when we do the ghost hunts, if nothing's happening, take your eye off, keep your fingers on the glass or whatever, take your eye off of it. Start having a chat amongst yourselves about something. Start chatting about, what did you do at the weekend? What are you up to this weekend? And it's when you take your eyes off of everything, that's when things start to happen. Because they're like, oh, hang on. You want to contact us? Hang on, we'll move it. Come back. Come and talk to us. So, yeah, we spend about half hour, 40 minutes just sort of like trying to just ground ourselves and get familiar with our surroundings at the time.
A lot of it's when you're unexpecting it, isn't it? You're chatting away and then somebody says, "Did you hear that voice then?"
Well,
and everybody looking at each other saying, "No, what?" It's when you least expect it, isn't it? It happens. Like Julia said, you just take your concentration off the table, off the glass, off the surroundings. You think, okay, nothing's happening. Just have a general chat, and you go into a general chat, and then suddenly somebody sees something or hears something, don't they? It's when you least expect something to happen is when it really does happen.
Yeah.
Well, we normally tune in, as I say, anyway, for about 35, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. Depends on what we all feel, because it's a great location. We love being there. We love meeting up. And anyway, this night,
isn't it?
When I put my Mel meter on the wall tonight, and it instantly started to go beep, 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 beep. And everybody's looking at it going, that meter's mental, yeah? And they're going, oh, is it malfunctioning? And I'm like, no. Oh, what meter's that then? I said, well, it's a Mel meter. It's like £350 worth of kit. They're like, oh, right. Good on you. Good one, Justin. That's Justin, Julia. He said this to me before. It was a wicked day. It really was. Anyway, or afternoon, sorry. And anyway.
Did you run your tri-field that night?
Yes, I did. But we didn't get. But I did get a lot at the gin distillery. That thing was going absolutely mental at the gin distillery, wasn't it? It was answering it, and so forth. Cheers, William. And anyway, it just kicked off straight away, didn't it? It kicked off straight away. And the tri-field meter was sat beside them now, and it was coming up. It was picking stuff up. But when we've got to go back to this location and we've got to sweep it, and I'll say in a minute how we're going to do this. Anyway, we just went straight into it, didn't we? We just started our experiments and whatever. Then we decided we'd move, and the mel meter just kept going and going and going, and the REM kept going and going and going. And like, what can we get that off? A flight? No, something has to go inside the static field. It's impossible unless something is near the aerial that we can't see that's going off. And also the shadow meter and also the temperature meter, because it calibrates itself and it says this isn't right now. Yeah, so it alerts you. Anyway, we went into the next building, or roofless building, and a couple of people playing with a table, and I was aware it wasn't what it was saying was on the table, and I don't know how, but I always pick up these things. And we ended up going back to the first building where Luke had said he saw some swirly things above his head. Dark. What were they, Luke?
Black circles flying in the sky.
Black circles in the sky.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. Thanks so much.
Hi,
Lucas.
good evening. Welcome, Lucas.
I hope we pronounced your name correct, mate. If not, correct us, please. We courtesy is number one on this channel, mate. So hopefully, welcome along. Thanks so much. Anyway, he said this, so I'm a little bit extra. I'm on this table thing. I'm now like, So I said, that's not what you think it is on that table. Oh yeah, it's giving us the right answers. And I said, right. I said, are you so and so? No. Well, I'll tell you about. I said, you've got to respect me. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Some people are a little bit, so we're not, obviously. You're the same as us, so you'll fit in here. Thanks for coming along, bud. Anyway, we've decided we're going to go to the next. Yes, I think I'm going to help you. We've decided to come back to what we call the hanging tree, isn't it?
Yes.
Big old, mate. That'd be good. If you've had a few experiences and you want to come on and talk live here next week after, please feel free. Or send it in if you don't want to appear live. And you all right there, Paul?
Yeah.
We can we can arrange something to get you on, or we can read it out. Anyway, as we're walking over, we have seen this is like 10 o'clock at night, so it's pretty. I mean, we had a lot of moonlight, didn't we? We had a lot of wind up above, but very little on the ground. It wasn't raining, but the clouds were moving quick. Evening, good evening, and thank you.
Hi.
Welcome.
Gwendolyn, welcome.
I would not have tried to pronounce that, Gwendolyn.
I'm sure that's Gwendolyn.
Yes,
Julia.
Thanks,
guys. I will say that Gwen may be involved in something that we have going on in July. It's I'm not going to give away the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh right, okay. Was that the we know that one, Julia, don't we? That would have been the
You're gonna have to read it out. I can't read. It's too small.
That's why I've got my glasses on. I can't see
the dolphin at Littlehampton. We got it right. Thank God. The dolphin. Yeah, dolphin. Yeah, it was a good venue. I didn't do it in the end, but there you go. Daniel's going to announce something in a second anyway. After I've got through this. All I can say that they were, and we are concluding that they were, is mythical creatures, dragons. That's all I can put them down to, and I've said it now, and I feel completely crackers now for saying that. But we've all tried in our minds, in our heads, to. No, it couldn't possibly be. No, don't be stupid.
We tried to debunk it because it's next to a river. There's a field of geese, there's a field of cows, and there's some swans on the river. So we tried to think, okay, is it one of, but you know, this was like 10 o'clock at night, so all the animals would be sort of like nesting and they would be settled down for the night. And then something comes and like makes them fly. But all the animals, all the birds would be nesting and everything. So, you know, something, is it a goose? Because it was quite big. Was it a swan? Because it's quite big, the flight of it and the size of it. But I don't know. The funny thing is, we've all been questioned individually, and we all seem to have seen the same thing. All our stories add up to the same, roughly the same sort of thing that we all saw.
Quickly, I was going to answer a question here. Hotel in your hometown. This will be, you're in Havant then, mate, yeah? I used to drink in the Bear Hotel. I was a regular there. You've got a highwayman in the Bear Hotel, and he sits in the far left corner by the alleyway, and he used to watch the rich people come in, and he used to hold them up just up towards over the bridge in towards Chichester way as they travelled along. Sorry, Julia. Yeah, that's our statements were consistent, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And even Luke's.
And everybody drew a picture of what they saw. I think I drew one, you drew one, Dora drew one, Luke Goslin, he drew one as well. We all drew our own little pictures of what we believe we saw. And they all sort of like tally up to the same sort of thing, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is quite strange.
Well, it just sounds completely crackers. However, after speaking to Richard Freeman, he kind of settled my mind a little bit. Those of you that know Richard, obviously, you don't want a leprechaun, mate. They're not nice things. But and I'm not talking about the previous. Anyway, Julia's laughing because she knows what I'd be talking about. Anyway, Richard Freeman, very clever man for the people that don't know him. He is, you could literally show him one bone and he will tell you exactly what animal and where it's from and or human, whatever. He's very knowledgeable. I believe him and John Downes have been working for over 30 years together now on zoology and so forth. If you've ever got something you're not sure of in that world, they're the guys to go and see. And I think Richard put my mind a lot easier at coming out and saying, we saw a dragon, because, yeah, we're weird, but not crackers. I don't think so. Yeah, anyway, because he said they're not here all the time. They enter our world and they leave our world. If they were here all the time, we'd know about them an awful lot more. We'd have a lot more mutilated cattle and sheep and deer, and we'd have a lot more reports of them attacking people and so forth. Therefore, they're not here all the time. So there is a paranormal. Daniel's holding his nose. He's obviously done a bad fart. It kind of
But do you know also what they are? The dragons.
We've got Haiku Box. It was a location up. It's in Surrey. We're not putting it all out there just yet for obvious reasons. Because we don't want people going stamping everywhere looking for dragons and so forth. Yeah, just yet. And
we are going to look at the area, aren't we? Next time we go, we're going to do a bit of a sweep.
Please, Lucas, please follow us. Drop me a message or whatever on my profile or so forth, and I will. I'll talk to you about the highwayman. Perhaps if you're on next week, I will do a little piece on the Bear Hotel and the Havant Ghosts, which I know quite well. Also, the parchment makers, I've got a little story in there to tell you, which has also got a little bit of humour in there. Oh, coop boxes from Surrey as well. Superb. Well, mate, if you want to come up,
Darren,
Phil.
Something
No,
that I
what were you laughing
will
about? What were you
suggest
laughing about?
is
What were you laughing about?
possibly taking your
What were-
team from the
Hey?
UK BRT down
What coop
to
boxes?
the Dragon site.
The what?
You could take your team down to the Dragon site.
Absolutely, yes. I could take anybody down anytime they wish once I get to know them, because these things are big cats. Although they've got claws and they can rip your throat out, they're not doing any damage to us, are they? They're not hurting our ecosystem. They're not hurting humans or anything like that. Therefore, they're living in harmony somewhere along the line. They've worked a way to live in harmony. They're probably keeping the rat population down and so forth. So they're doing a good thing. So their locations need to be kept secret. They need to be kept, because what we don't want is we don't want a load of idiots going in there and harming. Yeah, but it's true, isn't it? You know, what good has man really done for this planet? Yeah, what good? Tell us what good he's done. All he's done is burn its natural resources. You know, basically, wherever he can make a profit, he's going to make a profit out of it. We've got Cornwall, which is earmarked for the lithium-ion capital of the world. Elon Musk was stopped by the UK government 2 years ago. Not publicised, is it? Believe me, he's still got his eyes on it. Any animal, anything that's fair game, is huntable, isn't it? You know, and we don't give a monkey. So as long as we get a bit of entertainment out of something, we'll torture it, we'll muller it, we'll harm it, just for the fun of man. So the reason I'm very protective over these sort of places is these are living animals. These are the living things. And there's not enough respect in this world for each other, or especially them. And
also, I think, sorry, around Waverley, around like Farnham area, there are a lot of like pubs and that are named Dragon, and it's the same as like, you know, if you go to other villages, like, you know,
yes,
like,
we have.
Yeah.
Well, I have. Luke has. Yes.
Yeah. Horrible, yeah.
Paul has. Have you been there, Julia?
no, I haven't.
Perhaps I'll bring myself to go one day again.
And
after the last time we were there. Well, you also got to remember, you know, dragons, they're believed to be the gatekeepers of different realms. You've got to remember that. They're known as the gatekeepers.
I find it very intriguing, Paul, because you've done your thing on it.
Yeah.
Dragon cards. There's dragon teeth there. There's the dragon down the road. There's two swirly black things as we're conducting a paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've all got exactly the same that's Daniel. Within a couple of little bits of each other, of exactly the same bit, you know, maybe a couple of foot or something out of size on a
What I do next time when we all go to the location, I'll bring my dragon cards with me.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones I use for when I do some readings with people. I use my dragon cards. And they're so powerful. And you've got to, like I say, you've got to realise that the dragons are gatekeepers of other realms. So if you would have had an abbey there in that round of that time, you would have had a dragon as a protector, a gatekeeper. So
I'm also going to do a sweep with my dowsing rods.
Yeah, this was the next thing I was coming to here.
But what you have to do is go back to the basics. Try not to use equipment. Go back to basics, because that's what they only understand, the basics.
And this is what I say on when we do the ghost hunts. It's traditional and modern So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We've all decided that the best thing to do is to look for magnetic pulses, forces, and water. Julie is very good with her dowsing rods. 20 odd years experience. I'm never going to get anywhere near that with dowsing rods, so it's pointless me going over with dowsing rods. Yeah,
You have got some though. You could like do a bit of practicing with them.
I could do practicing, yeah, but I'm in other areas. If you're already good with the dowsing rods, then you do the dowsing. Yeah, I'll take the tri-field meter over. I'll try and get some magnetic pulls over there. Paul can bring his cards over, but I would strongly suggest, and everybody else is welcome, obviously, to help out. The more the merrier, in fact. But I would strongly suggest that we go over, if we're going to do an investigation at 7 in the evening, so in a couple of weeks or whatever, just hypothetically, I would strongly suggest we get over there 3 hours earlier to do this in the daylight, And then what we can do is we can do that, and then we can go back to the cars or go up the road, get fish and chips, come back and eat it, and then
Hooray!
there's a lovely chip shop down the road. Here's a question. Well, I know I don't look a day over like 35, but I've been around since 43 years investigating, something like that. 43 years I've been out there investigating, proper investigating, 30 something years, 35 years.
Yeah, I think I've been doing ghost hunt events for about 20 years, and I started Paranation in 2008. So that was a long time ago. When I was,
John's got his hand up. Can we just sorry, John?
Yeah, what I'd like you both to do. Sorry, I was dealing with my 4 things at once, so I only half.
That's okay, man. Not a problem.
But you're talking about doing dowsing there.
Yes.
And remember, I asked you to look also using your
for the trees.
Not just that, not also using your thing that counts up magnetic anomalies.
Yes, tri-field.
I only ever used to use a compass, and that would do just as well. But
it would actually. You're right, mate. Yeah.
Could you both could you get a ordnance survey map of the area you're doing?
Yep.
Photocopy it and blow it up, so the two of you have each got a map that you can plot on the map any magnetic anomalies you, my dear, and magnetic one lot and dowsing the other lot, please.
Yes.
Sorry, it's been a long day in my brain.
I used to use a compass. I think it's still in my ghost hunting toolbox, but I used to use a compass on the events. I don't know why I stopped doing it. It's still in the box. So maybe we can bring that out at Wookiee and see if we can.
Yeah. But I mean,
it's in my box. I don't know why I don't use it anymore, but I used to use a compass on our ghost hunt. It's still in the box.
We need to do the trees. What trees are there? We need to. Yes, John.
We need trees. We need magnetic anomalies, and you need to douse. Those are the three requests from me.
Okay, not a problem.
And a big map. We need a big map.
Well,
yes,
you can buy the local ordnance survey map if you haven't got one for about $5, and then just go and photocopy it and just blow it up.
Julia, what I'll bring, I've got a map here. Okay, I'll bring it with me Saturday and let you have a look. I think when you see it, you'll go, "Oh my god!"
Okay, that'd be interesting.
I'll bring it with me. It with me.
Yeah.
I won't mention it on here, but I'll bring it in with me.
Yeah,
and you'll have a look. I've already told Darren about it, and I'll let Have a look, see what you think.
We got a lot of spare time at the weekend, didn't we? So we can
we
mull
need,
over things.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah, yeah.
really sort out getting up there a little bit earlier and doing something. I think.
Did
If
any of
any
you?
of your electronic equipment suddenly runs out of batteries, make a note when and where. Because when I was doing I hate to use
Yeah.
the thing that was claimed to be a Bigfoot, but it wasn't anything of the sort. Up in Bowland Lake in Northumberland, we had every piece of electronic stuff of ours fail at least twice.
Yep.
And I found there was a correlation between that and veins of the magnetic iron ore underneath the place we were studying.
How many times did we have that?
Well, we had it at Knoll on Saturday because Paula came. She had a fully charged camera, proper camera,
Yep.
fully charged. Probably got halfway around the cemetery, and she went to take a photo, and the battery had died. And she was like, "Oh," and I said, "Well, you know, they can zap batteries."
But if you think about it, Julia, you know, when we're in the cloisters and we have the laser grid up on the wall, it never lasts long, does it? You said yours was fully charged and it within 5 minutes or so, it was out, done.
Yes, I think mine's
Do you remember that?
So I left it on like, you know, so it was like all fully charged. It'd been on
Yeah.
like, you know, 24 hours or whatever charging, so it's fully powered, and
Yeah.
it just dies down. You can see it
Just goes, doesn't it? Do you remember we were standing there thinking, how can that be? Because you were saying that you'd fully charged your laser grid and it was ready, and it just 5 minutes, was it? Maybe a bit longer. It
Right,
got-
yeah.
If you put this equipment in a small Faraday cage, you may find that it lasts longer.
Okay.
You may find that it's not affected by these electromagnetics because it's a
Right.
Faraday cage,
Yeah.
which you can make from, you know, that sort of bird cage wire. Not,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
not the chicken wire because it just looks so ugly and it's got big holes in it. But
Yeah.
the ones with the little oblong squares in there.
I think you could buy. Can't you buy them? Can't you buy them Faraday cases?
You probably can, but they'd be quite expensive. But you can make one from birdcage wire.
Right. That'd be interesting to try.
Be careful not to prick your fingers with the pointy ends of the wire when you cut it.
Yeah.
I did want to ask something because Julia and I were talking at the weekend, and I found it quite interesting that there was a crossover between 3 different Fortean events that you all had at that time, and one of them was the ghostly thing of the boy shouting "Mum." A second one was lights in the sky, UAPs, and the third one was these things moving around above your head. So that's 3 different Fortean phenomena all going off around about the same time.
And those were just the 3 that we identified. There could have been more going on that we just didn't see at the time.
Yeah, that is quite intriguing. And
I do wonder whether that there has a lot of ley lines in that area.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to find out.
That's what's ramping up because every time we go, it never fails to give something, does it? It may go quiet in the middle section for a while, doesn't it? And then we all, like Julie was saying, we all chat and just a bit of a laugh and raise the energy up. But I do wonder in the back of my mind whether there is ley lines underneath them, and that's why that abbey is built in that area.
Could be. It's probably on an old pagan site, isn't it? I would imagine.
Yeah. Because it makes you wonder why it's built in the middle of nowhere. You know, I know it backs onto a stream or a bit of a river. You know, I've never sort of really be interested on the sat nav to have a look how far that river goes and where it goes. Really, does it peter out or does it, you know, join in somewhere else into a lake or whatever? But you know, you've got to wonder whether there's ley lines underneath of them buildings. That's what causes this.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, we did some table tipping in the middle of it, and we still had contact in the middle. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We tried it right in the middle of the grass area between the buildings, thinking, what if we try it here in the grass where there is no buildings, then we can't be affected by the building. Do you remember when we had the table going in the middle of the grass area? Do you remember that, Judy? Was you there then?
I'm just trying to think. Possibly.
You know, you know the dead grass area right between all the buildings, right in the middle. I think it was me, Luke. I thought Julia. I thought you were on it, Julia. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And that we even had the table tip in there, which is in the middle of the middle of the buildings in the grass area. So it
Is
just
that
does.
where the old chapel used to be? Where the old aisle, the chapel used to be by the hanging tree.
Now you stand where we normally stand under the shelter bit.
Yes.
And we look out, don't we, towards the house?
Yes.
That grass area there, wasn't it, Luke? We put the table out there, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And then we tried it. We tried it there, and it actually was tipping in the middle of the grass area. So it does make you wonder if there's ley lines or some sort of activity in that building. I know that building would have been massive, wouldn't it, when it was fully erected?
Yeah.
You can imagine that grass area would have disappeared, but it would have been all building, wouldn't it? So you can imagine the size of this place would just be, well, I don't know. It'd just be overwhelming, wouldn't it, in the size of it? The area that it covers is immense, isn't it, really? You think about it. Talking a few minutes walk from one building to the other, aren't you, really? So I do wonder whether there's ley lines there.
Yeah. I mean, it was an absolute huge place.
It's massive.
Thousands of monks in there. Obviously pilgrims used to go there. It was a huge area for the community as well. So, it would have been well protected and well loved.
Yeah.
But I think, the next thing we'd have to do is we do have to do the sweeps of the ground. And find out and then get back to John with it all. So he, V and Richard can have another look through it.
But the ordnance survey map show ley lines. It shows undulations, doesn't it?
No, it won't.
It won't.
Thank you, Graham.
So there must be a map somewhere that you can get a ley lines. I'll have a look.
Can't.
Have a look, Paul. Have a look.
Yeah.
Have a look.
Because there must be something mapped out there for ley lines and locations of them, mustn't there? Somewhere. It's just trying to find it, isn't it?
Try and contact Paul Screeton at the Ley Hunter magazine. He'd probably help you.
Yeah.
Who, John?
Paul Screeton.
Paul Sweden.
Screeton.
Screeton.
Screeton. Right.
I don't know if he does it, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah. But I wonder if there's somewhere that you can find somewhere or a map or something that shows you the ley lines or where they could be, whether there is any, or if any, run underneath that abbey.
Well,
who knows?
They're the biggest lay research group in the world, so if anyone wants it, they'll have it.
Okay.
The reason I want you to do these electromagnetic anomaly searches is because if you think of it, the human brain is the most complex computer in the world, right? What happens if you have a computer and suddenly there's a bloody great big electromagnetic anomaly?
Well, it goes up the chute, doesn't it?
Yep, it switches off and reboots. And I'm working on the idea, Richard and I have been working on this for years, the idea that when there is some strange electromagnetic anomaly, it helps the human brain reboot. And then while it's rebooting, we see these things like dragons and monsters and UFOs. And
do you think, John, that if that was to happen, that the compass would spin round? It wouldn't have a north?
I think what I want you to do compass for is to see if there's any magnetic anomalies along there.
Yeah.
If there are
Yeah,
any
yeah.
in that field where the compass goes batshit, to use
Yes,
the technique.
yeah. This is what I wondered whether, if we were walking around and the compass or the tri-field starts to go doolally, then maybe mark that area so we know where we've actually picked up high
Yeah.
spikes, low spikes, because
Yeah,
also,
just put it on your map. So
Yeah.
then we've got a map that shows the electromagnetic geography of that field, and we'll have another map which shows whatever anomalies are picked up by dowsing in that field. And then we compare the two maps to see if they've got any relationship to each other or if we are measuring two totally different things.
yeah, but you can also rule out any electrical cables because there is no electric light or anything there.
No electric over there.
So you can rule that out, can't you? It could be affected by cables or...
Yeah,
Sorry, Darren? What?
that's why we love it so much over there, because we know
It's
there's no
unaffected,
electricity.
isn't it? And the light, it's not affected by light either, is it? From the towns and cities, it's always very dark there.
I mean, here's a quick question: is a compass worth buying? Well, I've never actually used one. Till thinking about it tonight, it makes absolutely complete sense. If you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about it,
And then
because
so
it really does. I'll
I
tell
do
you what, John.
I do have a compass in my ghost hunting box. And many, many years ago, I always used to get the compass out and we used to use the compass. But I guess as time goes on, other gadgets come along. But I've got one in my box. So it's there on every event that we do. I just don't really think about using it anymore. I don't know why.
Strange, isn't it? I think modern technology takes over the back to basics, Julia, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
So. We
yeah.
go, we've got a new piece of equipment, and the compass is in there, and it's
Yeah.
it sort of like finds its own north and whatever. But you could, I think I've got a clip on YouTube where I used it at Basin House ruins, and it started spinning round, and that was an outside event, so that was quite interesting.
It was really, it's really, really annoying me now, because all these years of doing this, and now I think to myself, something as cheap and as easy as a compass to carry in my pocket, which actually I often do have one in my pocket.
But do you not think that we're concentrating so much on our equipment that we're actually missing the basics?
Can I just say this, say good night. Thanks ever so much for joining us. So is Gemma going as well.
Bye, Gemma. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Thanks to both of you for supporting us, and coming on the show, supporting us, so forth. Thank you so much. It really is appreciated. I know I keep saying this, but I wouldn't keep saying it if I didn't mean it. Gemma will vouch for us, all of us. I can talk for all of us on that. We're all sincere in saying that. Thank you so much, guys. It really is appreciated. It really is. Thank you.
Do you not think, though, going back to that we're so concentrated on our electronic equipment, we're actually not looking at the basics?
Well, I've always said this. I've always said this. And that's why up until recently, I've never really got involved in the electronic equipment, have I?
No.
But I think the reason I'm into the Mel meter and
quite good. And, Mel, yeah.
It's really for the fair paying public, as I call them, because you get a lot of people come along, like at the Gin Distillery, which have never been on a paranormal investigation. Night, mate. Thank you so much. Honestly, it'd be a pleasure to have you on. If you've got any stories that you can come on and share with us, make sure you let us know, and I'll get you on speaking on here.
Darren, I actually have this guy's contact. His name's Wendell, so I'll send him the link
Wendell,
next time.
if you have, mate, honestly, be a pleasure to have you on. A real pleasure. This is what we do. This is as hard as we get. We all have a good laugh, and we just enjoy it. We love it.
And also, Ghost Tracker said about coming on when he's well enough to do about his haunted dolls, which is
Yes,
a really,
yes.
really thing. I'd love to hear about haunted dolls.
Well,
You know,
I'm
I mean-
going to get on my backside and get down to Scott as well, because he's
Yeah.
only in the New Forest. He's got some great locations. Last time I saw Scott, I got rid of a demonic entity for him in somebody's flat, and that was quite an interesting one. I basically opened myself up and I said, "Go on, do your best, mate." And Scott will tell you it had to leave in the end. And the girl's never had any problems, or the woman, sorry, has never had any problems since. So we must be doing something right. So Scott's a good guy. Scott's a good guy. He's got some lovely haunted dolls, and I just love him to come on. And oh look, Daniel's been around the taxidermist again. It's
Is that your new girlfriend, Daniel?
yeah. Why has she got lipstick on?
First of all, it's a boy, and don't be.
How did you find that out?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
That's the
Move
end
on,
of that
Darren.
one.
Move
on.
on.
Move on.
Right, there's a lot of the equipment doesn't work or leaves far too many false positives. Yeah, they can be. They can be. I mean, you've got to be very careful where you use them. You really have. K2 meters. Do you know what? I've found a lot better things than K2 meters out there at half the cost, a third of the cost. Yeah. Mate, please do, Scott, please do, and hope you get better quick, mate. Please get better quick. I know you've had bad and whatever. I've just come off steroids and antibiotics for my chest. I was really bad. I've never had steroids in my life before, but the flu just got me. It really did. But I agree with you on this. You know, but you've got to agree and disagree, because sometimes yes, sometimes no. If you're in an area where there's a lot of activity, a lot of like electrics and things like that, K2 and REM pods, they're just absolutely useless. Yeah, if you've got people switching the lights on, things like that and off. You know, but I think you're right, Paul. We can put too much faith in electronic equipment, and it takes our attention away from what we do best. But I tend to really only use, like, I mean, at the gin distillery, it was great for the newbies to see that when I've done the human pendulum, we got a bit of energy up. And I said, well, there's somebody there. If you're there now, can you come forwards? And it was going off, Julie, wasn't it? And, well, Neil was there with me. It was Neil.
I also think that, you know, the problem I have, and I think Darren has as well, is because we are hosting, people come, especially newbies that come, they want to visibly see something. They want something to, like, you know, like the cat ball going off, or, you know, or something moving. They want to physically see something. So
full body apparition just come through at them.
You can't do it. You can't do it. But if you can get them, you know, like the cat ball going off when no one's touching it, that sort of thing, that's what they've come to sort of like see.
Yeah, it's like visible evidence, isn't it? Like you're saying, really visible evidence.
Exactly that, visible evidence of something that no one could possibly activate or anything like that.
But they see too much of that stuff on the TV, don't they? You know, things going bang, and look, there's someone running down the corridor, and we know, we've been in it long enough to know, if you see a full apparition, how rare is it to see one? But people expect to see one when they go, don't they? So it's difficult, and if people's expectations are high, aren't they?
Disheartened, and it's like, you know, there's no need for it. Anyway, I'm not going to keep someone up too long or be accused of it, because I know it's not going to go to his bed when he leaves this anyway. But yeah, I agree with you. On this. That pendulum, in the investigation, I love the human pendulum. I mean,
it brings everybody together as well, doesn't it? All these people, like, sitting in the background, I want to join in, but I don't know how I can join in. You know, stand up, hold
Teams
hands
them
with
together, yeah.
your friends and
Yeah.
everything.
And I mean, like I say to people, you know, just empty your minds. Be easier for some than others. The other night, Lynn went to sleep.
No surprise there, then.
Sorry, Luke, we got to pick on you now. Anyway,
Right, yeah.
we are a team. We all know each other, guys. So you know, we enjoy ourselves. But
It's
Daniel's got,
it's all in good humour.
yeah, Daniel's got a few things that he wants to say. He's got an announcement because I don't want to be accused by mum and dad of keeping him up too late. Because he does have his schoolwork to do the following day, don't you?
Yes.
He goes into virtual class and things like that. So I know he's not going to go to bed because he tidies his bedroom after he goes off these.
No, he's got he's going to have his own special zoology teacher. Aren't you, young fellow?
I
am,
who
yeah.
that's going to be, John.
I would probably be sacked from a proper school on the first day for threats of violence and
Absolutely,
offensive
yes.
language. But I don't think the school of Daniel will sack me.
No, I won't, John. Don't worry.
Box, please share a link to video of, if you want it on South Coast Ghosts, Great British Ghost Hunters page. Please just share as many links of your evidence or YouTube channel as you wish. Right? I'll approve them all because we all love watching anything paranormal. And then maybe we can come on next week and we can all discuss it, guys. Yeah. This is what we want. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah.
But I'm just talking nonsense.
Please. Yeah. But so who's your zoology teacher then, Daniel?
Unfortunately, it's going to be Mr. Jonathan Downs.
Oh right, okay.
How did you get?
Well, I've heard he's got some good backup there. You know.
Yes, Daniel, this is what they call a cat.
Oh, really? Didn't know that was a cat, John. Look, this is a dog.
Yeah,
yes,
you've got a lovely
the Latin name of the dog.
Winston.
Mate,
no,
Canis
familiaris.
You're more than welcome.
But anyway, what I was going to say I got sidetracked then because the discussion about expensive equipment. About 10 years ago, I was called in by a bunch of ghost hunters who are much younger than me and whom I won't name because I don't want to embarrass them. They had got some piece of incredibly expensive equipment which was supposed to show when there were drafts in the room, they could never make it work. They said, "What do we do, John?" I said, "Buy a fucking candle." Light the candle. Then the draft.
Oh yes, it does. It's going to move. I like that.
Ghost hunters have been using candles far longer than they've been using woggity meters or whatever. Yeah. I'm also going to say, Daniel, I don't know if you heard what I said earlier about magnetic anomalies, electromagnetic anomalies. You don't know it yet, but you and your team are going to do your woods for electromagnetic anomalies. Because you've got to, because that I think is massively important.
Yeah.
Okay, that's roughly all I was going to say. So you can go back to listening to V sing a song or something now. Sing
come on,
V.
I was going to ask, I know it's probably unlikely, but when you guys were doing that Dragon Night thing, did anybody happen to take pictures of the UAPs, the lights in the sky?
Luke, you can answer that.
What? Take pictures of lights in the sky?
Yeah.
No one did, I don't think, did they? Julia might have done.
I don't think I did.
I'm not sure.
I don't.
Darren,
I normally do, but I don't think I did. No.
No. What you mean the? Yeah, now. What you mean? You mean the anonymity?
UAVs over at Waverley.
No. We did. There's two main reasons I don't do it. Right. This phone here, which is my normal phone. Before I bought it, the lady had smashed the glass on the back of the camera, but she tried to pick it out and damage the bloody lens, so it takes rubbish pictures. So I very rarely use it for photograph. So, and if I had tried to take a picture into the night sky with it, it would have just been blurred as hell anyway. So that's why I don't take many still images. I keep saying I'm going to change my phone, but I never get around to it. So there you go. Daniel's gone again. Where's he gone?
Did you pick up the ghostly voice on the recording at all? I haven't actually looked yet, V. I haven't even looked, mate. I'm sorry. But I will have a look. Hopefully tomorrow morning. This morning was the first morning I managed to sleep until 8 o'clock. Normally I'm up at like 4 or 5 o'clock. So anyway.
So what's Daniel going to announce then?
Yeah, come on, Daniel.
Daniel's having some sort of procedure.
Yeah, because stop waving that soft toy dog around.
What dog? What soft toy dog?
Well,
what's your announcement?
I'll kind of go on
Daniel.
and announce. So
this is my last dog. Yeah.
So from 2 weeks ago, it might be, the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference announced my appearance over there in Florida. So I'll be there on
in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
So on the 8th of June, I will be appearing over in Florida to give a talk, and anyone who is watching now, you are more than welcome to be there. But something that I'll stop it, Darren. Something that is a lot more related to us, especially to kind of John, Paul, and Darren. We are holding our Cryptid Conference UK that is going to be a lot bigger than last year, and when I mean a lot bigger, I mean a lot bigger. We have a much bigger staff committee. We have a lot on and a massive guest line. So everyone, if you wanted to join the Bigfoot research group, all the announcements will be kind of on there. And everyone in the UK, it is going to be the same venue as last year, so Southwest, Purple Spoons Cafe, Highbridge, in the hall. We have a lot more going on this time, and we're hoping that Darren's going to host the event. Paul is going to be there as a guest, and myself, John, and Chris Alsford, who's sometimes on here, are on the event kind of organisation. So so that's a brand new announcement that was announced yesterday with Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum, and every Sunday from now will be a new guest announcement, and a few of the guests have been on tonight to put a few comments in. But yes, so there is our two big announcements. Thanks, Darren.
Is Vera coming over again, is she? Or?
I'm not going to say on a live.
Okay.
Not yet. You'll know within 5 weeks.
Okay. I'll just send her.
Yeah. Well, Darren, I'll tell you.
Send me a message, Daniel. Just send me a message.
Off live, mate.
Yeah,
I'll tell you off live, mate.
Yeah. No, I love Vera. She's very interesting speech she did last time. The way she has been out in the field and analysed different, what you would only call howls to the untrained ear, howls, dog howls, wolf howls, things like that. And she's got this fantastic, what you can only call, well, she's got various cryptid howls, but she investigated the werewolf, didn't she, in Italy? And lots of people. I've actually got that part of the video made, so I'll be able to share that part of her speech.
She's been out in the field. Hold on. Well, yeah. So it's yeah. So it may well be live streamed. I don't know, but our event this year here in the UK won't be live streamed due to some of the big names we have coming up, and you guys will kind of understand that as things kind of get. What do you guys know about Sasquatch?
Well,
John, me and John to take that one.
Well, you John,
I know damn all about it. Ask Daniel, he's a clever one.
Well, what do you want to know? Where do I start?
Basically, John V, Daniel are all zoologists, D. And
cryptozoologists. A zoologist is in a zoo.
Daniel found eDNA in the Quantock Hills of Old World Monkey, and John's been on the case of these for quite a number of years, longer than his beard has been growing, I would say. He is very knowledgeable. What John doesn't know, what V don't know between them, isn't really worth knowing. So if you do have a question, there's a good one.
I can possibly answer that.
You can answer what? That wasn't the question.
Us here personally, we haven't seen one, but I do know a lot of people that. Oh, John has. Yeah, mate, you have.
I've got a question you can't answer, Daniel.
But we do
Why
have
orange jam called marmalade?
Why is what called what?
Why is orange jam called marmalade?
Because it has orange peel in it.
No, it's a mispronunciation of a French word.
Anyway, sorry, I was just trying to distract Daniel in an amusing fashion. Carry on, Daniel. Answer the question.
Well, you've seen one, John. Where did you? I mean, I know you've told the story before, but where was it?
It was a place called Bowland Lake, which is about 40 miles north of Newcastle. And we, the Centre for Fortean Zoology, had been told of a whole string of sightings that were there. And we drove up there in early January of 23. That was 21 years ago. For those of you like me, I'd still count on your fingers. It was 21 years ago. And I won't go into the whole story because it's a long and complicated one. But there were 5 of us sitting on the bonnet of my old Jaguar. And 3 of us saw something running very, very fast from one side of the break in the trees to another, lit up by headlights of my old Jag. And 2 other people saw it as well, running straight back a fraction of a second later. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you one thing: it was not an unknown ape. It wasn't anything flesh and blood. It was something far more esoteric than that. But we went there looking for a British Bigfoot, and I think I came the closest to most people ever do of actually seeing one. It's a long story. I'll come on one day and tell you the whole story.
Yeah, perhaps. next week after, John, you can be the star of the show, and
Me?
I mean, have you think? Yeah, I mean, have you seen any Dee? I mean, have you got any experiences, and what sort of area are you in? I mean, what are you in the UK, or are you in? At the minute, I can just see the StreamYard, so forth. Oh, Jim. Gemma's messaged the chat. Great listening tonight to the live. Some really interesting stuff. Just ordered myself Compass 5, something I didn't even think of getting.
She's also got a tambourine, a new tambourine that she's going to bring on Saturday.
Oh yes.
We're having a sing along then.
For those who don't know, we're doing
around the campfire in the cave. Who's bringing the marshmallows?
Well, if you're interested in cryptids, Dee, we're all part of the British Bigfoot Research Group.
So, Darren, something that you may be unaware of is, do you know Tim in your team?
Probably not, no.
Tim Smith.
No, because I haven't got the email.
Well, Oh, Dee's in the UK.
Dee's in the UK?
I'm in the UK. I'm a medium of 56.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic.
Well,
superb.
Come down and see us on the 20th of July.
You're
Come down, find out about some.
It's fantastic to meet up and so forth.
Come down and meet us.
No, I don't.
Is Darren frozen?
I don't know.
No, still there.
Scott, fantastic to have you, mate. Get
Night,
better.
Scott. Take care.
Yeah, I'm just trying to jump in between, see who's on and whatever. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, mate. It's really appreciated. I will get off my backside as soon as you're better and get down and see you, mate. If not, give us a shout and we'll bring you on here live. Do both, mate. We need to get out there and get some cameras out and just do some rubbish and stuff and some locations. Well, that's basically what you need to do, isn't it? You know, you need to get out there, camera each, and do a bit of right. We're going to go to this location. We may get nothing. Just roll the camera and just go through, yeah. And then just that's interesting. That's good. Nice to see. Well, look, you seem to be somebody that needs to sort of like keep in closer contact with us.
Darren, may I just ask this person a question? You may want to keep this a secret, or you can kind of message me personally. But whereabouts are you in the UK, and where have you kind of put trail cameras out? Because we may have some info for you.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of build up teams all around the UK at the minute to try and collaborate the evidence that we're getting, because obviously it's a lonely world out there on your own, but it can be. I mean, we've found through collaborated evidence that we're all getting significantly the same phenomena in different areas, with paranormal in every shape and form, UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, everything. And when you're a joint collective, it's making it so much easier for everybody to operate. So if you don't want to stay on the live, that absolutely
you can. This person, D, if you wanted to email me, ukbrt.db@gmail.com, you're more than welcome to do that. So we can kind of do that because I would be very, very interested to know about where you are. Oh, cannot chase, but I'll try. Okay. All right.
Cannot chase. Could be.
Well, that would. If you wanted to get with us, say, I would put you in touch with our Wales team or North team, and you're more than welcome to be part of our team if you wanted to. If you message me personally, Daniel Lee Barnett, and then we can kind of sort something out.
Yeah, let's make it happen, and share the power of unity again, and join the forces, guys. But anyway, I'm going to say that we have been on 10 minutes overtime, so I'm going to end the live now. Thank you. Mark has just volunteered to be our new guide around Cannock Chase. Well done, Mr. Rickett.
The black-eyed kids, isn't it? The black-eyed children, isn't it, Cannock Chase?
I'm absolutely sure Mark would actually be our guide around Cannock Chase. He's quite super. Well, look, let's make things happen. That's what this group's all about. That's why I started off a podcast. That's why Daniel is. That's why John's here. That's why Bean's here. That's why how can you better that? How can you better that?
And we also need food, and we want 5-star rating. We want we want 5-star everything.
Yeah, Paula, it was a pleasure to have you all. Honestly, I can assure you that. Julia was quite happy wandering off and whatever, and taking the pictures, and you've combined experiences and so forth. Absolutely, Mark. You know it is. His wife's Filipino. His girlfriend's Filipino. She's apparently an excellent cook. Superb. So, if you get the video, Paul, share it across, mate. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Superb. But I am going to end the live now, guys, because
Thank you. Take.
Fantastic.
Have a good week, Toolbox.
Yeah. Thanks ever so much for coming on. Your Paul says, superb week. I mean, at this stage, we normally thank everybody for coming on as a collective. Superb. Please share the video.
Bye, Mark.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Please share the video. If you want help you grow as well, please feel free. South Coast Ghosts, Great British Ghost Hunters. I can say for myself, share whatever you want on there. If it's obscenities or anything nasty, I will delete it. But apart from that, you're more than welcome to advertise an event, to advertise your YouTube channel, to if you need help with it or anything like that. I can give you a mention on mine, you give me a mention on yours or so forth. Come on here, have a chat. You're more than welcome. That's what we're all about. We actually love, we don't do this for money. We do this for our hobby. This is our pastime, believe it or not. But please share the videos. Please invite friends along. Thanks ever so much, guys, for joining us. It really is appreciated. And it will be on record on Facebook and YouTube if you want to go back through it. And thanks for